weird, scary, and interesting. And today, I thought we could talk about trailblazing women from the Grand Ole Opry. So, I thought of the idea because if anybody checked out last week's episode, I sung 7 women that were on the Grand Ole Opry, some of their songs. So I thought, let's learn about the women that more or less in layman's terms kicked the door down to allow women to be on the Grand Ole Opry. Trailblazing women refers to individuals who are pioneers and breaking barriers and making significant contributions in their fields, often challenging social norms and paving the way for the future generations. So you think of it, these women we're going to be talking about, actually, we're going to be talking about 11 women we're going to be talking about that paved the way for future generations of women to be on the Grand Ole Opry. We're going to learn all about trailblazing women from the Grand Ole Opry. So let's get into it and find out all about these 11 women that more or less, as I say, kicked the door down for future generation of women and find out who they are and which ones did this. Let's get it. The first one is one of my old-time favorite classic country singers. Is Pasty Cline. Pasty Cline was born Virginia Patterson Hensley on September 8th, 1932, in Winchester, Virginia, United States of America. I wonder if she was named after the state she was born. Patsy was married twice. First to her first husband, Gerald Cline, on March 7, 1953, until their divorce in 1957, and I looked it up, Gerald is not alive anymore. I looked it up last night when I made the script. Okay. They divorced in 1957. Then she married for the second time to her second and last husband, Charlie Dick, on September 15, 1957, until Patsy's death from a plane crash on March 5th, 1963. And Charlie's not alive either. Because I looked it up, because I was curious if both husbands of Patsy's was still living. Okay. Patsy had one daughter and one son with her last husband, Charlie Dick. And you know, when Patsy died, her son and daughter were pretty young. They were just little when their mom died. That's sad. The reason why Pasty Cline is a trailblazer is because Pasty Cline went after what she wanted from her career, even turning tables to ask if she could become a member of the Grand Ole Opry rather than waiting to be invited. Because as she said once in the video she is about her called Sweet Dreams, that at the time Pasty Cline was still alive, there wasn't a whole lot of women that were a part of the Grand Ole Opry. It was more or less I'm quoting what I heard from the Sweet Dreams movie of Patsy, that it was a boys' club, like a men's club. So it was like men's only. Okay. Not only did Pasty Cline become the first country artist to headline her own Las Vegas residency, I didn't know. And also I didn't know she performed at Carnegie Hall. That was a surprise to me when I was writing the script. It's like, holy shit. She's really cool for a woman for her time. Okay. But also became the first woman inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. Wow. She really opened the door. Okay, let's move on and see who else did some door opening. Number 2 is a current one from this lifetime, is Carrie Underwood, and she's one of my favorite singers. Carrie Underwood was born as Carrie Marie Underwood on March 10th, 1983. So she's a year younger than my roommate, Anita. And she was born in Miss Musagai. Bear with me, I'm trying to. Musikogi. Oklahoma, USA. Carrie Underwood is married to an NHL player, Mike Fisher. And they were married on July 10th, 2010. So they've been married for quite a few years. They have 2 sons. The reason why Carrie Underwood is a trailblazer is because Carrie Underwood is one of the most successful female country artists of this century. Carrie Underwood has lifted other women up as she continues to climb. In 2018 with the release of her album Cry Pretty. She made history as the first woman to have 4 country albums reach #1 spot on the Billboard 200 chart. In support of the album, Carrie Underwood handpicked Runaway Jane and Maddie and T as her openers. The all-female tour served as an important reminder of talented women wanted they can bring to the table. So, she is one of those women that helps is supportive to other women that what they want. Okay, let's move on to number 3, and it is Kitty Wells. Kitty Wells was born as Ellen Merle DeSon on August 3rd, 1910, in Nashville, Tennessee, USA. So yeah, she's originally from Tennessee. Kitty Wells was married to Johnny Wright. In 1937. They had 2 daughters and 1 son. Kitty Wells died from a stroke on July 16, 2012. So that's about 13 years she's been gone now. And she died in Madison, Tennessee, USA. So she died in her home state. The reason why Kitty Wells is Trailblazer is because Kitty Wells was the first full-fledged female country star, made a splash on the scene with It Wasn't God Who Made Honky Tonk Angels. A response song that was inspired by following artist Hank Thompson's Wild Side of Life. I don't know the words to the Wild Side of Life, so that's why I'm not trying. Okay. Challenging double standards and wifely duties. The song was shearing and controversial for its time. While it wasn't originally allowed on the Grand Ole Opry, it struck such a chord with the women that it eventually made its way on stage. The women liked it, so and it's a great song. I saw it puttering around with doing the housework. So I can see why the women back then loved it. It's like saying we don't need to be 1950s housewives anymore. We need to change with the time. Okay, let's move on from Kitty to number 4 to Dolly Parton. Okay. Dolly Parton was born Dolly Rebecca Parton. Yeah. She has my first name as her middle name. That's so cool. And Dolly was born on January 19th, 1946 in Pittman Center, Tennessee, USA. Dolly Parton was married to Carl Dean on May 30th, 1966, until his death this year of 2025. He just passed away not long ago, I think this month. Yeah. My heart's going out to Dolly. Also to Carl. And Carl and Dolly didn't have no children. The reason why Dolly Parton is a trailblazer, because Dolly Parton joined the Porter Wagoner show. Some of you older folks probably remember how that Porter had his own show way back then. Okay, as Porter Wagoner's girl singer, she proved herself to be no one second fiddle. It didn't take long for Dolly to forge her own independent career, becoming a household name around the world. She is the only country artist who can say that she has had a top hit on Billboard's Hot Country Songs chart for 6 consecutive decades. Go, Dolly! Okay, let's move on from Dolly to number 5, Jeannie Seely. Jeannie Seely was born as Marilyn Jeannie Seely on July 6, 1940 in Titusville, Pennsylvania, USA. Jeannie Seely was married twice, first to her first husband, songwriter Hank Cochran, on June 15, 1969, until their divorce in 1979. She married for the second time to her second husband, Gene Ward, in 2010. Also not long ago, the same year as Carrie married her husband. Okay. Jeannie Seely has no children. The reason why Jeannie Seely is a trailblazer because Jeannie Seely invented in her songs like Who Needs You and Don't Touch Me. Jeannie Seely has has long been an outspoken artist and follows the path for other women to follow her footsteps. She became the first woman to regularly host 30-minute segments on the Grand Ole Opry after advocating for fair representation when she was challenged once for wearing a mini skirt on stage. Ooh, how taboo back then. Ooh. Jeannie Seely told Opry manager Divine, okay, this is what America is wearing, and I'll make you a deal. I won't wear a miniskirt in the back door if you don't let anyone wear one in the front door. Is she recounted in Ken Burns' country music documentary. So you can say Jeannie Seely was really an advocate for letting women wear what they want. And I agree. Women should be allowed to wear what they want. Even if it's just a simple mini skirt or makeup. No woman should have a man sing that you should wear makeup or a mini skirt or blah blah blah. They're not wearing it. This man would look a little silly wearing a miniskirt. No offense to homosexuals or transgenders. Talking about the straights. Okay, let's move on from Jeannie to Crystal Gayle. And after I talk about Crystal Gayle, I just need to tell you something funny. That I always mixed her up with another country star for years. Okay. Number 7, Crystal Gayle. Crystal Gayle was born as Brenda Gayle Webb. And her middle name is spelled a little different than her stage last name. Her middle name is spelled Gayle. And her stage last name is spelled Gayle. So you see the difference. Okay. And Crystal was born on January 9th, 1951. In Paintsville, Kentucky, USA. Crystal Gayle was married to, bear with me, it's a foreign last name, Vasilios, in brackets, and Bill. So she's married to Bill. Bill's last name is Gatzimosis. It must be Italian. I could be wrong. Bill's first and last name could not be Italian. Anyways, Crystal and Bill got married in 1971. Yeah, we'll just call him Bill. And they had 2 children. The reason why Crystal Gayle is a trailblazer because Crystal Gayle forged her own unique musical identity to set herself apart from her sister Loretta Lynn, embracing a crossover sounds. Yeah, they have seen on YouTube. They did have do some duets, but their sound is totally different to each other. Crystal Gayle became the first female country artist whose album was significant platinum for selling 1 million copies. She must believe in magic. We must believe in magic, featured the smash single, Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue. That's the song that Keith Urban sung on the Grand Ole Opry 100. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you I told you when it started with Crystal Gayle. That for years, some reason, I got Crystal Gayle and Emmylou Harris mixed up. I thought for years that Emmylou Harris is Loretta Lynn's sister. But my roommate, Anita, kept on telling me that Crystal Gayle was Loretta Lynn's sister. For some reason in my brain kept every so often I started thinking, Emmylou Harris, Crystal Gayle's sister? And Anita goes, no, I get thinking Emmylou Harris is Loretta Lynn's sister. And Anita says, no, it's Crystal Gayle is Loretta Lynn's sister, not the other way around. I think why I get it mixed up is because Crystal Gayle and Emmylou Harris always wear their hair very long. That's probably why. But since they're older, you can tell the difference. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I don't know why I get those two mixed up. Maybe that. Oh. Okay, now let's move on from Crystal Gayle to the current queen of country music. And she's in number 8, and it's Reba McEntire. Reba McEntire was born Reba Nell McEntire on March 28th, 1955. She's the same age as my aunt, my oldest aunt. And in McAllister, Oklahoma, USA. Yeah, Reba's from the same state as Carrie Underwood. Isn't that so cool? Reba McEntire was married twice. First to her first husband, steer wrestler champion and rancher Charlie Bately's. in 1976 until their divorce in 1987, year after I was born. When she married for the second time to her second husband, Neville Blackstock. In 1989, until their divorce in 2015, like 10 years ago, Reba McEntire has 3 stepsons from her second husband, Neville Blackstock. And one of her stepsons is the ex-husband of Kelly Clarkson. And she has one biological son with her second husband, Neville Blackstock. The reason why Reba is a trailblazer is because Reba has distinguished herself as a dynamic performer, not just as a singer, but also as an actress and producer. Yeah, you remember her from the show that shares her name, Reba. Reba once said to succeed in life, you need 3 things: a wishbone, a backbone, and a funny bone. It's pretty funny. Have you ever seen her show, what Reba and the current shows that she's on? She's pretty comic. And she continues to practice in what she preaches. Let's go, because I read when I was working on a script that Nita might do next year about the female country singers, and that the band that she had at one point it was a backup band that she was using, did not know any country, so she was just had to stand there and cracking jokes. So, you know. In 2018, she became the first woman to play the part of Chicken Tycoon Colonel Sanders in a commercial. I remember that. Does anybody remember Reba playing Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC? If anybody has it, there is probably, you might be able to check it out on maybe YouTube. It shouldn't be that, it's not that old. It's like 7 or 8 years old now. Okay, let's move on from Reba. To number 9, and it is Kelsea Ballerini. Kelsea Ballerini was born as Kelsea Nicole Ballerini on September 12th, 1993. So she's a 90s baby. Kelsea was born in Mascot, Tennessee, USA. Kelsea Ballerini was married to an Australian country singer, Morgan Evans. I've never heard of Morgan Evans. I guess I don't listen to much Australian music. Countries. And Kelsea and Morgan were married on December 2nd, 2017. So that's 8 years ago. Yeah. Until their divorce on November 15th, 2022. That's still not long ago either. Their marriage ended. And they have no children. Okay. The reason why Kelsea Ballerini is a trailblazer, because Kelsea Ballerini has emerged as one of the country music's most promising young lyricists, and she's actually a pretty good singer. First time I heard her sing was her song Peter Pan. She did awesome doing the song by Barbara Mandrell. I was country before country wasn't cool. Before country was cool. She sung that on the Opry 100. Let's continue. And delivering real life honesty through unstable hooks in songs like Homecoming Queen and Miss You More. If the early years of her career are any in the only female artist in country music whose debut album had 3 #1 singles. Wow. Kelsea Ballerini's future is bright in the spotlight. Well, Kelsea, keep on going. You're a wonderful singer. Okay, let's move on from Kelsea Ballerini to number 10, and number 10 is my other favorite classic country singer, Loretta Lynn, the sister of Crystal Gayle. At least I got it right. Crystal and Loretta are sisters. Loretta Lynn was born as Loretta Webb, and I couldn't find a middle name, so I don't know. And Loretta was born on April 14th, 1932, in Butcher Holler, Kentucky, USA. Like their song says. Loretta Lynn was married at 15 years old. Yeah, Loretta Lynn was a trial bride. To 21 years old, Oliver Lynn. Yeah, her only husband was, you could say, robbing the cradle. Because Oliver was 21. Loretta and Oliver were married on January 10th, 1948. They married until Oliver's death in 1996. So they had quite a bit of good years of marriage. And Loretta and Oliver had 5 daughters and 2 sons. Loretta Lynn died on October 4th, 2022. Can you believe it's been that long? Since Loretta Lynn's been gone. I still can't believe it. Okay, and she was burnt. She died. Loretta died on her property, Hurricane Mills, Tennessee, USA. That's where she was living at the time of her death, was Hurricane Mills. The reason why Loretta Lynn is a trailblazer, because Loretta Lynn, growing up in Butcher Holler, Loretta Lynn learned a thing or two, practiced when she launched her career as a country star. And a little, if you ever seen the movie Coal Miner's Daughter, it's about her. And right in there is her husband that helps her get into being a singer by buying her a guitar and helping her put herself out there. Even starting singing in a bar. Okay. She worked hard for her keep, sleeping in her car the night before she made her Opry debut, though she already had 25 top singles to her name. It wasn't until she had released her 18th album that she won Entertainer of the Year at the CMA Awards in 1972. Became the first woman to do so. She kept on going and got to the top, and not without stopping. It was good. I should try to adapt that. I try to adapt to that, even if I say, oh, maybe I'll play, maybe I'll. But then Anita keeps on telling me, no, you're not. But then it helps. Keep on going. That's what, if you want something so badly, keep on going. Okay. Let's move on to the last trailblazer on this list. And she is on in our last spot, number 11. She is Alison Krauss. Alison Krauss was born Alison Maria Krauss on July 23rd, 1971 in Decatur, Illinois, USA. Alison Krauss was married to musician Pat Bergeson in 1997 until their divorce in 2001. And they have one son. The reason why Alison Krauss is a trailblazer is because Alison Krauss has seen success most artists could only dream of. Since getting her first record deal at 14 years old, That's younger than Loretta was when she married Oliver. Alison Krauss has won astonishing 27 Grammy Awards, more than any other woman from any genre, and only to be outdone by Quincy Jones and George, spelled the German way without the E, Soliste. But apart from all the accomplishments, Alison Krauss has been an important stalwart in reminding the world that bluegrass is worth holding on to. She was inducted as a member of the Opry at 21 years old, the first bluegrass artist to join the cast in 29 years. So hopefully you like that. And why don't you do is go check out these 11 artists, trailblazing artists' music. Or maybe you have already. So I'm going to sign off. And you know the drill. Like and subscribe. And comment. And ring that bell. So, and I'll tell you, sometime this week I'm going to be singing some songs, 3 songs from 3 male country stars this week. So, hopefully you have a rest of a good day, and hopefully you have a rest of the good week. Have a good week. So for now, goodbye.